Welcome to the new version of Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast, the podcast for real estate agents everywhere. I'm Lisa B, and together with Bjorn and I, we're going to talk about everything real estate. We talk about what's working, what's not working, what's new, what's old, technology, and anything else to do with real estate. We'll answer your questions from the Facebook group Let's Talk About Real Estate. So if you have a question, we can help. Join the Facebook group today. And again, welcome to the show. Hi, Bjorn. Here we are at our next podcast. How are you going?
Fantastic, Lisa. Great to be here as always. I'm looking forward to today.
Me too. Okay, so tell me, what's it like on the ground, on the coal face of real estate now? Tell me, what are potential vendors saying? How are they? How are buyers? What's going on the coal face?
Yeah, well, the market's still pretty strong, pretty hot. We have noticed a slight cooling in the number of buyers, so it has slightly eased back a little bit. Speaking to some valuers, they were doing an average of around about 10 odd valuations a day. That sort of slowed down to around about 6. So it has slowly quietened down slightly, but we're finding the prices are still holding strong and steady. Okay. And we are finding we're still getting multiple interest from multiple potential buyers, and properties are still selling before they even hit the market for well over what the vendors are expecting.
Okay, so, and you're in Adelaide. Yeah, you're in Adelaide. Yes. So how are vendors, potential vendors, when you're doing listing presentations? Are their price expectations way above? Are they? Is the market catching up to their expectations? Like, what do you feel as far as the vendors are concerned?
In my particular market, where my average sale price is around the $500,000 mark, I still feel that I'm overachieving and getting more than what the vendors are expecting. Okay. There's a little bit of mixed emotions out there. Some vendors feeling that the market will slow, and others feeling that the market may still have more legs and still have more gains in it. Okay. I don't have a crystal ball. Well, actually, I do have a crystal ball, but I don't have a
doesn't work.
No, it doesn't let me read the future. So it's anybody's guess, but the market's still strong right now, and I expect it to remain that way throughout spring. And we're still finding that a large number of our properties are actually selling to buyers that we've met previously, and we've got tech involved, which we'll talk about today, that enables us to contact those buyers again. And then we're selling properties before they are even hitting the market for, in some cases, 50, 60 grand above the price, which is in my marketplace at 10 to 12% more than expected. A lot.
Okay, and what about rentals? Rentals still hard to get in your area too? Yeah.
I feel sorry for people that are renting properties at the moment. Some people that are renting and needing to move into a new rental, it's very, very difficult to either buy a property or to rent a property in this particular market. So it's very, very tough out there for consumers.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Just wanted to see how it was on the ground at the moment. All right. So we're continuing our podcast with how real estate agents are using technology for everything. So we've already covered technology for lead generation, how to use technology to list property, and how to use technology to market and sell property. So this week we're going to do to carry on in a chronological order, we're going to do offers through to settlement. So just to pre-frame too, you and I don't know everything about technology. We're just more or less saying what we've seen, what we've used, what we know agents are using. And everyone's at different stages of real estate, and they're at different stages of technology. So some people will go, oh, that's basic. And other people will be like, oh, really? I've never heard of that. So, we're trying to cater for everyone. So
no, definitely. Right. A lot of people will relate to what we're going to speak about today. A lot of people go, yep, I'm doing that, already doing this. But some people go, hey, hold on a minute. That's something that we haven't looked at. That's something we haven't looked into. So like you say, I'm just experiencing what I'm experiencing, and I'm just sharing what I'm experiencing as far as what I'm using. And hopefully that can help some of the other agents out there around the country with their careers.
Absolutely. Okay. So once we find a buyer, how we then use technology. So we have online office systems. So, and before we get to those online office systems, we can use, say, the QR codes to take people to these offer platforms. So we'll just cover some of those offer platforms. So we've got, say, RESO, which is your online offers, which, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so RESO is a private treaty way of selling property, and you can request the buyers to join the RESO platform where they put in all their terms and conditions and all of their details. And then what happens is those buyers will be alerted as to any changes that are occurring in the property. As the agent, I've got a choice whether I wish to rank those offers. So, for example, let's say there's 20 people that have come through a home and I've received 5 offers. the traditional way of doing things is, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, Bjorn here from EXP, just calling up. May I ask you, is this your best and final offer? Is this a figure that if the owner were to say no to you and you missed out, you wouldn't get upset with me for not giving the opportunity, but more importantly, you wouldn't get upset with yourself for missing out. If that figure is not your best and final offer, I suggest you give me your best and final offer before 5 p.m. today, because at this point, it doesn't look like you are going to secure the house. So you need to come up with the absolute highest price that you can in order for you to not miss out. Now, when you say that to a buyer, if the buyer trusts you, not a problem at all. If the buyer doesn't trust you, then all of a sudden they think, here we go, typical real estate agent trying to get more money out of me. Where the RESO platform comes in is I can say to the buyer, you log in through RESO, you register through RESO, and what we'll do is it'll actually notify you of where your offer sits in the queue. Now, it doesn't specifically let them know what the other offers are, but it will say, for example, Lisa, thank you for making the offer on the property. Your offer currently sits third in queue, meaning that you're the third highest offer. Now, what that can potentially do is make you as a buyer, because you can see where you're ranked, say, you know what, I don't want to be third, I want to be first. So what I'm going to do is up my offer. Now, as the agent, we can choose when we wish to update that. And when we wish to, we might say every night at 5 p.m, we're going to update it. Then when we get to a point where we're comfortable and we're happy, we can say to everybody, you've got until 6 p.m. tomorrow night for your final best and final offers. As of 6 p.m, the platform closes and we take the top 3 highest offers and we deal and negotiate with them, or we just take the best offer and we sell away. So it's a more transparent system for a buyer to actually understand where they sit in line.
So are other buyers, when they're notified that they're ranked third, they're not told what the other offers are?
Under South Australian legislation, unless you're under an auction platform, you can't disclose where the other offers are. It's very unethical to do so, and it's actually frowned upon in a legal sense. So you either auction the property, and there are platforms such as open negotiation, which maybe we'll speak about next.
We will.
RESO is for your private treaty. So if you're going to take a property to the market with a price point, with a price range, or without a price, you can always use the RESO platform. It's very affordable. It's only a few $100s. And then you can rank those offers, and then the buyers know where they actually sit in a chronological order.
All right. So the next one, as you said, is say open negotiation and market buy. So they're more the auction or online private treaty offer systems. So, and then we've also got the online offer forms, which you've also used as well. So how do you think buyers and sellers like this, you know, like the transparency of these offer systems? And and then if you can just kind of explain those 2 platforms as well, the open negotiation market buy and the forms that you've used.
Well, I'm quite lucky. I've got a good reputation in my marketplace because I've been around for 14 years, and I'm known within the industry to be a very straight shooter. So when I say something to a buyer, if they've had any communication with me in the past, they know that what I say is what I say and what I mean is what I mean. There is no grey area. So I don't have the difficulty with the trust issue with buyers. So my expressions of interest using my digital online offer form, which is through a drop form basis, I don't have any issues with negotiating properties with that. And when I have that conversation, that dialogue with a buyer, letting them know that that's not going to buy the property, they know they need to come up, because they know I'm not one of these sharks out there trying to rip them off. Okay. I don't care who buys the property, to be completely honest. It's just whoever is going to pay the most. Now, buyers that don't know me, the RESO platforms and also the open negotiation platforms, they love them because they can see the transparency. They feel like finally it's not my word versus their word versus the owner's word. Because with these platforms, you can also upload all of your documentation in the back end. So they can look at certificate of titles, Form 1s, which is what we call our cooling off papers in South Australia, council searches, property interest reports, all the legal documentation. Now, open negotiation is an online auction platform. Now, open negotiation has become very strong since COVID, because obviously...
Did they float?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think they did. Anyway,
But since COVID, doing an auction on the front lawn, which I still feel is the best method of doing an auction, because people can actually see the other people with their physical eyes, and they're at the property and they can touch it. It's like buying a lounge street by sitting in it. Sometimes when you detach and you do an online auction, it will work well because people can do it from the comfort of their home. But the more comfortable a buyer is, the less likely they are to pay more. It's getting the buyer in an uncomfortable situation, which is an auction situation, where they usually pay more because they're scared of it being pulled away from under them, and they can read the body language of the other buyers and whatnot. When they're sitting behind a screen and it's an online auction forum, they can make sure that other buyers can't see who they are. And when it's an online platform like Open Negotiation, it's fantastic because during COVID, you can still run the online auction.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just needs an auctioneer to sign off, and it's under auction terms and conditions, and people will actually see where they rank.
Yeah.
For example, you've got a property that's worth $1.5 million, for example, Lisa, and we can either choose to promote your property for $1.5 million. We can put it from 1.5 to whatever 10% above that is. Okay. Or we can have no price, or we can do RESO where people don't see a price at all. And they just know where they're ranked. With open negotiation, let's say you've got 1.5 you want. I come along as Bjorn, there's no price in property, and I go, offer $1.2 million. Once I've registered on the system and I put an offer of $1.2 million, now all of a sudden the real estate agent has the ability online to advertise current bid $1,200,000, which would look affordable, which then encourages more buyers to come through, and then more buyers to register, and then more buyers to make their bids as well. Now, as the bids increase, the price changes that's being displayed on realestate.com domain and other portals. So the price basically starts out low because somebody always makes a lower bid, just like they do at auction, and then it works their way up. Once it hits a point where the agent is comfortable, they can say to everybody, we're holding the final stage of the auction campaign tonight at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Okay. There are time restrictions with when you can and can't have them. Like I don't think you can have them after 9 p.m.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that. So let's say we do final stages at 6 p.m. All of those buyers then jump online, and everybody puts a bid in, and everybody can see where everybody else's bids are, and everybody can see which number that bid belongs to. Right? And they know their own number. Then when it gets to a point where the reserve is being hit, you get a 2-minute counter, which counts down every time. Once the agent is comfortable with the price of the property, they can say that the property is going to be sold. Now, the agent can pause that at any particular point through time, and then they can go back and call the underbidders and say, look, this is what's going to happen. We're about to sell. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. You need to come back in now. I've paused it to give you the opportunity to have this conversation. Are you in or are you out? No, we definitely are. Okay, no worries at all. Clock counts down, bing, it's above the reserve, sold. Done and dusted. The auctioneer signs off against the paperwork. It's a transparent system, but the buyers never actually see or meet the other buyers. So it's great for COVID. RESO is great as well for COVID. The online offer form, which is a platform that I use, works absolutely perfect for expressions of interest. And I find that I don't need a RESO or an open negotiation to do that. I personally still love an auction where the auctioneer is standing at the front of the house. There's face-to-face interaction. It becomes emotional. Because when you get behind a screen, all emotion is taken away and only logic is left.
Well, I guess, like you said, it's great for pandemics. It's great for lockdowns. It's great to be able to still transact. So what about some of the agents? You see them like in Let's Talk About Real Estate, and they'll go, oh, I don't think it's a great idea because you're doing the agent out of a job. What would you say to agents that say that these offer forms, it's our job to be able to negotiate, and where, that's what we're being paid for? What would you say to agents about those three systems?
Yeah, the online offer form definitely isn't doing anybody out of a job, because it's just, instead of handing the buyer a piece of paper and asking them to fill it out and give it back, they do it online through an app. So it's easy, it's convenient.
But it's also the hype that we do, and it's also the, it's the back end stuff, and it's all the excitement, and it's managing those negotiations. Even if it's online, it's the same thing. Like you said, to ring them and go, oh, you're there now, and this other buyer, they're pretty excited about it. They went there today. Like you can still do the same sorts of things even though it's online. I think we've still got to take a proactive approach. Even though it's online, we still need to be part of the process.
You still need an agent, unless the owner's going to do it all themselves.
Right?
You still need an agent. Now, there's car yards out there, and there's also people that sell their own cars. Okay? Car yards are still around. They're not going anywhere.
No.
Just because people can sell the car themselves, people can sell their own house. Not a problem at all. But I can guarantee you, they're not going to get the money that a real estate agent is going to get for them.
No, for sure. And I think too, as we've spoken about with technology before, the more we automate things, the harder it is for a seller to actually replicate what we do. And if we can go into a listing presentation and talk about the technology that we use and how we actually strategize the technology, that's going to be hard for a seller to actually replicate and to do. And that's the way we've got to show why we're worth our fee, how we're going to get them higher price, how we add value to them, and how they don't have to worry, like, don't worry, we've got this all sorted, So that's the way we've got to think about technology as well. The more we know about it, the way we can, and I guess, sell the benefits and everything to the seller, then the more we're gonna save our jobs, because we are needed, like you said.
Let me ask you this, Lisa. If you want to sell your own house, you can find a for sale by owner. They'll take photos for you. They'll give you brochures. They'll put you on the online portals.
Yeah, okay? It's amazing what they do. Do
you know how to run Facebook ads? Do home vendors know how to run Facebook ads? Do home vendors know how to run auction campaigns? Do home vendors have access to open negotiation? No. Do home vendors have access to RESO? No, they don't. Do home vendors have access to online offer forms with drop form? No, they don't. Do home vendors
imagine them trying to learn all of this? This is where us knowing technology can just give us such a massive advantage. And also in the listing presentation, as we've said before, we're pandemic proof, list with me and the technology, I've got you covered. No matter what happens, a nuclear bomb could go off. Well, kind of, we can still transact, like no matter what happens, we've got you covered, as long as the internet's still going.
you've got to provide value to your vendor. Like, I'll give you an example. I've got one that I just come from today, which is why I'm in my EXP gear, okay? I've gone to this property. Now, this place was an absolute mess. It was chaos. These guys wouldn't sell for 50,000 years if it wasn't for my help. I said to them, guys, you know me, you trust me, I'm referred in because it's a family friend. You need to move out. We need to get somebody in here to clear all this stuff away for you. We need to box it all. We need to label it all. We need to get it out of here. We need to get grouters in here to clean this. We need to reseal your bathrooms. We need to get a handyman in to paint. We need to turn that study into a third bedroom. We need to put a doorway in here. We need a builder. We need to fix the capping on your roof. We need to clean all your pergola area out. We need to get a gardener in here. We need to get a stylist in here to stage the property. We've done all that. I've organised all that for them. Okay. So I've taken all that work away for them. So this is where you've got to go above and beyond in real estate nowadays. Today, I've just done a Facebook Live. We've done a property video. We've done a 3D virtual tour. We've done all the photography. We've done the site plans and the floor plans. About to load everything up so I can get everything ready for the online portals. Now, for a vendor to get their head around that and wrap their head around all of that, you're talking like 0.05% of vendors in Australia that can do that. So as far as technology talking agents out of a job, if you're an agent that doesn't embrace technology, it's not going to be the home sellers that talk you out of job. It's the other agents that are going to kick you out of a job. Yeah. Because if you're not up with the times, if you're just sitting back in 2021 and hello, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, thank you very much for coming on board with me. The photographer will be there tomorrow. And the photographer rocks up and you do the photos, brochures, floor plans, site plans, signboard, and put it on realestate.com. If that's all you're doing, guys, you better move fast and you better catch up with your stuff, because pretty soon you won't be in a job.
No, exactly.
You won't be in a job anymore. I'm telling you right now, you need to embrace the technology.
Yep, exactly. All right. So the next one, electronic signatures. So where do agents use electronic signatures now, such as DocuSign?
Yep, this is perfect. Okay, so DocuSign, basically, you can send out documents to whoever you wish. You allocate whether they're a buyer, whether they're a seller, and whether it's the auctioneer, and it'll tell the client on an email. They open up an email and it will say review document. They get a code, they put in, they review their document, and they basically sign where they're requested to sign. So it means they don't need to come into an office anymore to sign manually paperwork, which means in lockdowns, it's foolproof. Basically, I'll always sign up sales agency agreements when I'm with the client there and then, because I don't do two-stage sale agreements. I win the listing when I'm there with them the first time they meet me. Yeah. And I won't talk about how I do that, because that's an EXP.
No.
Okay. But call me and join EXP, and then I'll talk to you about that. But until then, I'm not disclosing any of those secrets. But with the process from then onwards, it's all feedback via phone, SMS, with digital reports we can send to the vendors. We have reports we can send to the buyers. We have digital offer forms we can send to the buyers. We can organize contracts from the comfort of our home office. We can send them out through either REA forms or through DocuSign. Basically, I use REA forms with the platform that I have at my brokerage. And basically, everybody signs electronically online. Then once I get that contract back, I forward that via an email to my conveyancer. My conveyancer prepares the Form 1 documentation and then sends out to every party via DocuSign, and everyone signs electronically like that. What it does, it speeds up the calling off process. It speeds up the process for signing of a contract because, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, when are you free? Oh, I've got this on. I've got the kids' netball that night. I've got this. I can see you in 5 days' time at your office.
Yeah, exactly. No.
It's inconvenient. You need to get on top of things straight away. So online signing platforms, very straightforward, very easy to use. And if you're not using them in 2021, start using them. Because otherwise you will become an obsolete real estate agent.
That's right.
So get on top of the technology.
Absolutely. All right. So the next one, database management after settlement. So Trails. So there's many CRMs to choose from, like some of them, Eagle, Agent Box, Vault. There's plenty of great CRMs out there. Yeah, plenty of great CRMs out there. So obviously setting up trails, once settlement happens, to keep in contact with people. Then we've got artificial intelligence such as Reader, so to nurture leads and all that sort of thing, and make sure that you are keeping in touch with people. That's made a big difference, hasn't it? Like the technology these days is just bloody amazing. I wish I'd have had all this in my day, I tell you. But anyway, it's
what, Lisa? If you've got the technology to take care and automate mundane tasks for you, combined with the friendly, genuine, helpful nature, not the money-hungry real estate agent, but the genuine, helpful real estate agent, and you combine the two, it is unstoppable. It'll make your life easier as an agent. It makes vendors' lives easier, buyers' lives easier. And as long as you're still that personable real estate agent who has a no BS approach and tells it like it is, because there are far too many real estate agents out there that still, some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth, they need to www.zip it because they're just giving the industry a bad name. As long as you're a transparent real estate agent with a good persona who cares about their customers and communicates well, and you couple and link that together with the technology, you will never have to worry about listings again. You will never have to worry about sales again. All you have to worry about is helping other people, and everything else will come together for you.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah. The next thing, keys, electronic lodgement of keys. So you can log keys out. Software reminds you by text and email if you don't return keys when you said you would. So that's ones for big offices. If the keys are, you don't want keys to go missing. Who's got those keys? Who knows? Then we've got settlement, so final inspections, say using Zoom, FaceTime, all that sort of thing. Solicitors online, so there's a lot of solicitors now that they don't even see their clients, buyers or sellers. They do everything online. And then PEXA. So you're familiar with PEXA, yeah?
Yeah, PEXA is a settlement process. So it's funny because when you speak to the conveyancers, it used to be like lining up for a show ride. They'd all go down to the land title's office. The settlement was happening on Thursday or Friday. I always put my settlements on Thursday, by the way. The reason being, if something goes wrong, Friday's there to fix it.
Yeah.
A lot of agents are still putting their settlements in for Friday. I think it's a very, very risky dance that you're playing because if something goes wrong, you can't fix it on a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. So settlements on Thursday. Instead of them lining up and waiting to be called in for their 3 settlements they've got or whatever, which is literally what it was, down at the land title's office. Now it's PEXA, so it's all online. They still need to do identification checks a client does in South Australia, which I'm pretty sure is Australia-wide. But they can either be done at Australia Post or in front of a JP or by going to see the conveyancer and doing a 100-point ID check, obviously to make sure there's no fraudulent activity. But the world of technology has just made everybody's life easier and everything more efficient. As a consumer,
don't have to be there. I
don't want to buy a house and have to meet a real estate agent at their office and sign a contract and then go back and meet them again to sign a Form 1. I don't want to have to do that. I can't be. I want to see the house, buy it, and then just make everything made easy for me. So
exactly. Just want
technology
to
makes things easy.
automate it. So then the last two things that we really don't know what's going to happen in the future. One would be blockchain, how that's going to affect real estate, like, buying and selling process and being registered and all that sort of thing. That'll be interesting to see how that eventuates in real estate. Then the other thing is crypto. So how that's going to influence real estate. Are we going to be buying property? I know there's been properties that that have transacted in crypto, but is that something that is going to be moving forward a lot more? Who knows as well?
Who knows, Lisa? I'll say one thing about that crypto space. It's far too complicated.
I think
far too complicated for the average person. It's far too complicated.
I think if it was like, I bought crypto and I made, I didn't make that much on it. I didn't invest that much, but to me, it was like, people have had their crypto on their computer and their computer's broken down and all of a sudden they've lost their crypto and things like that. That's what scared me about it. It's like, with a bank, it's there and you can get it out. Like I couldn't even, the app that I had CoinJar or something, and I couldn't get the money out. It was like, oh, sorry, you're unable to get this money out at this point. And I'm like, what the hell? And so then I transferred it to somebody else and then they gave me the money for it because it was like, no, I want to get this out of here. Maybe you want to get it out. But, I guess there's people that are experts in it and eventually it may, who knows? We may all be talking about crypto soon.
If this is my digital wallet and everything's stored on here and all my money's stored on here and this thing gets lost, I've just lost it all. I think it's all a bit of a fad. It's a bit of a hype, and it's even more artificial than the monetary system, in my personal opinion. It's the only reason why crypto is worth anything is because people are buying into it, but it is an absolute load of BS. It is. I feel
like we're the old farts going, the internet will never take off. The internet will never take off. Will I get a website? I don't know.
It's very different, Lisa, because the 70 or 80-year-old man knows how to click a button and go www and log into something, right? Crypto is so complex and so confusing, right? Do you think that the world powers, right, the people that run the world banking system, do you really think that they're the people that control the world? Do you really, really think that they're going to enable this thing to come in and erase their system and replace?
Oh, well, who knows? We won't talk about the back end stuff of what people say is happening, whatever, but it's more so like, people are trading in it. So, it'll be interesting to see if we are the old farts that go, this is just a fad, or in 10 years time, we're going to be going, remember that thing we used to have, those notes that we used to have for money? Remember those, Bjorn,
they'll probably get rid of money, but I think banks will always exist.
Yeah.
They're not gonna forego their power. And if you look at crypto, if you look at Bitcoin, the money the energy that it consumes to mine a coin, aren't we in a world of environmental friendly kids? Don't the next generation, isn't it all hugging trees and things like this? Because if it is, crypto is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like electric. It's kind of like electric cars, Lisa. You look at electric cars. You actually do the logistics on electric cars. They need lithium. Okay, so lithium batteries. If you've looked at a lithium mine, they are absolutely filthy. The devastation that they cause the planet and the amount of carbon used to create a lithium battery, which has a life cycle. After about 10 years, the electric vehicle will pay itself off. But to create an electric vehicle pay station where you're going to fill up your vehicle, $300,000, I heard $300,000 per each charging station. And in order to make those charging stations, 5 minutes, it's just not feasible. It can't be done. It can't be done. So I think what you're going to find is, this is way off topic.
We'll go back to the way it was.
I think you'll find that the answer with vehicles is not electric vehicles, it's hydrogen engines, hydrogen vehicles, where you've got a fuel source which is similar to fuel, which actually can travel long distance. So I think electric cars are a fad, and I think personally, I think crypto is
a fad. This will be on the net. This will be on the net on YouTube in 10 years, and it'll be like, remember we said that, Bjorn?
Hey,
Yeah.
look, if I'm wrong, it means that they've come up with a solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Which means they've
But
made
that's
easy.
why, you know what? That's why I love doing videos like this. You can go back and go, see, in 2017, I said that. In 2014, I was doing that. We've got it recorded. So there we go.
Did you hear Elon Musk with his Dogecoin? Dogecoin was set up as a joke. Dogecoin was set up as a joke. And now Dogecoin, Elon Musk is actually backing it, and he's actually enabling people to transact with Dogecoin. So now Dogecoin's going to go through the roof. So do you see what I'm getting at? It's all perception. Everything in the world is perception and people's psychological perception on something, which is when we talk about technology and real estate, back to these platforms, RESO gives person a perception of, I know where I stand in order. Open negotiation gives a buyer a perception of, I know where I stand in order compared to everybody else. So it's giving the buyers a perception of clarity rather than a clouded perception. So whether crypto takes off, electric vehicles, all these other things which are off topic, that's yet to be seen. But as far as the technology and real estate goes, I think it's here to stay. I think it's going to evolve. And I think you need to adapt and evolve with it. If you spoke to me 18 months ago, I wasn't using half of this stuff because I was stuck in the traditional establishment, as I call it. And now that I've come to the cloud-based platform, I'm realizing that
seen the light of technology. I think what happens with crypto too, people will go onto the app and they'll go, oh, it's now worth X amount. And then the next day, oh, it's now worth this amount, you know, so they get addicted to that ups and downs, and they get the highs and they, oh, you know, it's worth so much more. Guess what, Johnny, you know, it's now worth this. And, you know, I think they get addicted to that as well. But
think about this, Lisa. The crypto people believe that crypto will be the only currency and it will eradicate money. But hold on a minute. One Bitcoin is worth $40,000 or $50,000 of this fake money, which the crypto people don't like. These notes and this money in a bank account. So hold on a minute. You're telling me that crypto is going to replace the monetary system we've got now?
What's it going to be based
on?
But
right now, do you get what I'm saying? Right now, if I sell one Bitcoin, I get $40,000 or $50,000 of the real money, the money that all the crypto people say is worthless. Right? So where's the logic? So when only crypto exists, what does that mean? Does that mean I go to the grocery store and I buy 0.0007 cryptos worth of groceries, right? Do you get where I'm getting with this?
Yeah.
So you're saying to me that the car that's sitting in my front driveway is worthless, but if I sell you this product, you'll give me 10 of those cars that are worthless. It doesn't make any logical sense to me, Lisa.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any logical sense.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't own any crypto at the moment, and we'll see. Do you own any?
I do. I own a little bit because I just dabble in everything. I've got medicinal marijuana shares. I've got other shares. I've got EXP equity stocks. Okay, I've got five properties. I've got a holiday house. Okay? I've got investments in other agents which are joining my network. You know, I put money into them to then give me a return. So I've got my hands in several different piles. And although I don't think crypto is something that I necessarily like, I don't think it's whatever, I'm still in there.
Yeah. No, I sold out of it. I should do it again.
Right?
We'll see. But I don't want anybody ringing me telling me, trying to sell it to me.
The one thing I do know, Lisa, is that all of my properties have just gone through the roof. So the one thing that's always been, and there's a saying for it, safe as houses.
Yeah, exactly.
You look at a lot of the billionaires around the world, the Donald Trumps, love them, hate them, whatever. A lot of the people are billionaires through property. Now, why is property always going to be a safe bet? Because there's always more people coming into the population.
Yeah.
It's tangible. People need somewhere to live. And also with property, there's a big rental market. You can develop, you can subdivide, you can touch it. It's always going up in value because there's always more people being born than people that are actually dying, because the life expectancy of people is getting older and older and older, which means that there's always a demand for housing. Is there going to be more demand for crypto? Maybe yes, maybe no. Is there going to be a demand for medicinal marijuana? Maybe yes, maybe no. Is there going to be a demand for those stocks and shares? Maybe yes, maybe no. Is there going to be a demand for electric vehicles? Maybe yes, maybe no. Is a hydrogen vehicle going to come out and just destroy Elon Musk's business? I think it will. I think it will, unless Elon Musk buys the rights to the hydrogen motor. So who knows? But the one thing that's guaranteed, and that's why it's called safe as houses, stock, shares, everything else, it's non-tangible. It's all artificial. Houses are real. This mouse is real. I can touch it, I can feel it.
Yeah.
So that's why I still love property above all else.
Yeah, same.
And I still believe that property will always be the best vehicle for long-term wealth creation and to retire upon. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's my
All
opinion.
right. No, that's good. All right, perfect. Well, I will see you next week for our next podcast. Thank you.
We'll see you then. And anyone listening, sorry we got a little bit distracted with a few of those topics there, but you get the idea. The world is changing. You need to be with it. There's waves. Okay, you either create the wave, you ride the wave, or you get wiped out by the wave. Make your choice, guys. Make your choice.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, Bjorn. We'll see you next week.
Bye for now.
See ya. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have a question about real estate, then please join the group on Facebook, also called Let's Talk About Real Estate. For those of you who are interested in EXP, please join us at 10 a.m. Brisbane time every Wednesday morning for EXP Explained. Thank you again for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, and see you next week.